project in our today's live session. So we have our Honorable CMO of Yum Project, Mr. Aragon,
Hello.
with us
Oh,
to talk about their valuable project. So how are you, sir?
I am great today. Thank you so much. I love it that you called me the Honorable Mr. Aragorn. That makes me feel like a knight.
You are a nice person, and no doubt punctual as well.
Yeah, well, thank you. I've never been called punctual before, but I like it.
But I like your punctuality, really.
Okay.
Yeah, so well, before starting our today's session, we would like to definitely learn about your project, that of Yom, and your good self. And do share that how and when you have started to get involved in the crypto, and tell us that what's your role in Yom, as I had mentioned, but you yourself have to explain that what's your role in Yom,
Of course.
that
Of
of
course.
your open metaverse. So please proceed now.
Of course. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, well, personally, I've been involved with crypto for a long time. I think I started mining Bitcoin in 2011 yeah, on my small home computer. So it's quite a while ago. And I've been involved in crypto ever since, but not from a professional point of view until only have I been involved with the metaverse until like a little less than 2 years ago. I used to work at LinkedIn. I've been a sales guy my entire life. I worked at a lot of really big tech companies, doing sales, marketing, and public speaking, of course, things like this podcast. And 2 years ago, I started getting involved in the Unreal Engine space because I really wanted to be a part of that. Built a different company, and then ultimately, when that company, well, the other owner of that company, my former business partner, and me decided that we wanted to go different ways, I was recruited by BeamUp, the company that I work for now, which is the company behind your open metaverse, to become their chief marketing officer. And that was obviously the coolest thing that ever happened to me because I've been a massive fan of anything related to what we now call the metaverse for my entire life. And I really believe that blockchain technology has really been that missing peg or that missing part of being able to build that next level of, well, I was going to say of the internet, but that's really not the right answer. I believe that the metaverse is going to be that extra meta layer on top of reality made possible by technology, virtual reality, augmented reality, blockchain, artificial intelligence. But it will really change the way we interact with each other as human beings, but also with reality itself. And so to work on a project like your open metaverse, that's like a dream come true for me. So that's basically my journey. For those of you out there that do not know what your open metaverse is yet, is it okay if I answer that question, Mish? We go into that?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, cool. So your open metaverse, what we're trying to build is a layer one metaverse. There's actually a question later on about, why do we label ourselves a layer one metaverse? I'll get to that. But I think that the next evolution of, well, what people call the World Wide Web or the internet needs to involve more dimensions and more senses. It needs to be more immersive and needs to be more intertwined with the world itself. And that's exactly what we're trying to build at your open metaverse. But another thing that it really needs to be is it needs to be open, decentralized. It needs to be a place that is not ruled by the laws of advertising and marketing, trying to get as many data from its users as possible all the time so that it can sell back to them or that data can be used to sell to them. No, it should be an open and safe place. I don't know where you are all from that are listening, but I'm sure that, wherever you grew up, there was always some place around where you could go where people would hang out together. There might be a bar, or there might be, a village house, or a place for people to gather, and so it's a really essential part of any community. It's an essential part of humanity. For places where people can come together to connect with each other and to build together, to co-create, whether that be their community, whether that be, the local businesses, whether that be helping other people out. And the thing is that the internet, so far, as we've known it, the World Wide Web has not been providing us with that because it's been very driven by business. And ultimately, that's important, right? That's how our economy works. But a certain social aspect that was, underrepresented. We have places like Reddit, we have social media, we have that kind of thing, but it still felt distant. Even though we can communicate very quickly, we weren't really there. We weren't really connecting with people. And so at your Open Metaverse, that's what we really want to build. We want to build a place where artists, brands, businesses, creators, but ultimately also communities can come and build the new villages of the future, right? The virtual spaces where they can come together to connect and to co-create. I hope that.
Wow, it's quite impressive, and it's no doubt, undoubtedly, an impressive approach. So, well, so my next question is: would you like to explain your project's tokenomics and also share the roadmap of your project?
Yes, of course. I can definitely say something about that. So I'll start with the tokenomics in this. So well, let me start by saying that the question "explain the tokenomics" is a very broad one. So for anybody that's really interested in the tokenomics, they are being updated all the time. Excuse me. They're being updated all the time. We're still working on expanding our tokenomics, but the latest version, as it is officially available, is always available on our website, which is yum.community. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll find a link to our tokenomics. So I really advise anybody that's interested to go through that. This document is regularly updated. It will be updated again pretty soon. We're also going to release our white paper over the next week and a half. Currently, it's at our graphic designer to make it look really pretty, but the text itself, most of that, 99% of that is done. I need to add some marketing parts, but the general gist, the important things are all there. So that's something that I highly recommend. Now, as for our tokenomics, there's so much to go into. I wouldn't really know exactly what to answer about it, but if there are are there any more specific questions maybe around tokenomics? Because
You can summarize or you can answer generally.
okay, well, let's see. I'll try and do a quick summary. So first of all, it's important to we speak of ourselves as a layer 1 metaverse. On top of that layer 1 metaverse, there is a layer 2, which is the meta spaces, right? And the meta spaces are really where everything happens. That's the experiences on the platform. And then on top of that, that's what we call the third layer, and that's really also where the monetization takes place for businesses. But that's where the interaction is with the audiences in any meta experience, right? Now, to make all of that possible, to make this whole project work, we have, of course, a lot of token utility added in. So on the marketplace level, outside of the metaverses itself or outside of the meta space itself, we will have a marketplace of our own. We will probably also hook into other marketplaces. And these, this is very general stuff. There's tokenized tickets. You can tokenize meta spaces. You can mint NFTs. We will have tokenized wearables. So that's all pretty straightforward. And then on the metaverse level, obviously, we have a lot of mechanics like play to earn that will be available, promo to earn, where to earn, experience to earn. And a very important one is charge to X, which means that on top of our platform, if a brand, say, let's say a brand, I don't know, is there a big brand that I can come up with that is not one that I always mention? Let's say Uniqlo from Japan, right? Uniqlo from Japan is making a meta experience on our platform, right? To show their fashion, to create a place where people from around the world can gather to experience, new fashion shows from Uniqlo or something like that. Let's say that they're doing that and they're tokenizing all the assets in their space. That's all possible. They have complete control over the meta experience that they build, what they do there, and the mechanics that they implement. And they could, for example, do a charge X mechanic where if you buy a certain virtual asset and it's an NFT, right? Then they could give it the feature that if you charge it with tokens on our platform, then you will get extra powers or extra, abilities, extra features, right? So let's say you buy a Uniqlo NFT. And initially, it's just a virtual, outfit for your avatar. But if you charge it with tokens, you will get access to early access fashion shows or VIP events or things like that. I can go into more of that if people have more questions. Now, ultimately, that is also kind of a staking mechanic, of course, because you can stake into these NFTs that give you extra access, etc., etc. This, in turn, by the way, of course, also ensures that we have the circulating supply of tokens over time is the right word? Well, is going down, which of course is important for scarcity for the economics. And of course, as more brands come onto the platform and there's more customers and more people use the token, that puts in buying pressure and therefore pressure on the price to go up. So that's also good. There will be a total of 300 million tokens, but we will only have 90 million tokens for sale. So that's 30%. 15 million of those will be in strategic, 71 million will be in private, and only 4 million will be in public. So it's a very small amount of the total token supply that will be released on TGE that will be actually public. And that's to protect the token in many ways, of course. We don't want the traditional scenarios that we saw in 2017, where you had all these ICOs, where there was a massive public supply. People would pump it up really high at TGE, and then these tokens would collapse, and everybody that still held them would lose their money. We don't want that. So we, apart from having a very, very thought through utility, a very thought through platform, we also making sure that in our token supply, in the release, etc., that we also do everything we can to maintain long-term value for the token. That's also represented in how we go about the strategic, private, and the public allocations, because there is a vesting time on all of those. So that means that even on TGE, people that have invested in private or strategic and were massively oversubscribed, by the way, they can't just dump their tokens. The longest release period is, I think, even 18 months until, let's see, it's 18 months for strategic round, yes, to have full release. So there's that. We are very heavily oversubscribed. That means that we're even looking at our investors and trying to decide which ones we're keeping and which ones we might be switching. That sounds kind of nasty for the investors, but we selected a group of investors in October when we, initially started this private and strategic round. We were very happy with those, but as we have grown over the past 4 months, gained new insights on what we want to achieve and how to make this project successful, we also have been thinking more long-term, and for the long term, we're trying to get the right portfolio of investors together that will allow us to be successful in the long run. And a very big consideration there right now is that we want to go into a Series A by the end of this year to get extra, funding outside of the crypto tokens, private and strategic allocation, to really drive our business. And so to do that, we are already in talks with several brands. We also already bringing in customers. We even already have revenue streams from external customers, and we want to drive that up, keep growing that towards a Series A, so that we have a very healthy business, healthy influx of revenue, and therefore building a healthy business, so that we can do the Series A, get in a very big funding, and keep the development of the project going. Yeah, I think that's it for the tokenomics. What was the other part of the question? The roadmap. Well, I already more or less went into that, explaining what we're trying to do with the Series A at the end of the year. So the roadmap right now is under revision. We still have a roadmap on the website, but that one is actually outdated because we recently decided to postpone our TGE, our IDO. The reason for this is, number one, we want to release our token in the Netherlands because we want to be a legit, legal, transparent, and accountable business, right? So, of course, we had options. We could have, moved our project to all kinds of other places in the world, where there's less legislation and less obstacles to overcome. But we wanted to do this the right way. So all the founders from the company are Dutch. We're from the Netherlands. We want to build a successful business here. So we also want to release our token here. Now, that's not easy in the Netherlands because you have to be registered with our Dutch central bank for that. And there's a lot of legislative hoops to run through. That's why we had to postpone our TGE. On top of that, we also want to be a project that has working products live when we go into our TGE. We don't want to be one of those projects that keeps promising forever and forever and forever. So we're taking that approach of we're only going to release when we really have working products to show so that people can truly see the value and the potential of what we're building. So that's all part of that roadmap. And so because we postponed TG, we're now recalibrating and reconfiguring our roadmap, trying to make it all work. And we will have a live stream update on the website. We're aiming to have that live before 1st of April. Although I don't know if we will actually 100% make that, but definitely in April it will be live. Where you can track on our website our progress on 3 different categories. So there will be 3 different categories. One will be, part of what we're doing with our investment roadmap towards Series A. There will be KPIs from marketing to see how we're doing with bringing customers and brands on the platform. And there will be a development KPIs where you can see how we're doing in terms of development for the software development kit and the platform itself and all the important technical stuff underneath it. You will be able to see that, and there will be like a loading screen, something like that, loading to TGE, loading to live, loading to launch. So it will be perfectly possible for anybody interested in a project to follow us day to day and see how we're progressing live right up until TGE and launch. So that's the roadmap. I hope I got all the questions there, Mish. It was a very long story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, you have really a systematic approach, so I must say that you will definitely reach the heights of success. So, well, my next question is about compelling features. So, what are some compelling features for you?
Yeah, compelling features. Well, yeah, I mean, what is a compelling feature? I think the most interesting thing about our platform, and I've answered this actually already on Twitter on Saturday because I didn't realize that all of the questions on Twitter were actually for today. So I don't know if any of you noticed, but on Saturday I went on a spree and I answered 60 questions. I sent out at least 100 tweets answering all of these questions. When it comes to compelling features, I think that there's many of them. First one, we're building an Unreal Engine, right? Unreal Engine right now is the most advanced 3D engine in the world. I'm not saying that Unity isn't any good. Unity is amazing as well. There's other engines out there, but from a point of view towards the future, what we're trying to build, support, ecosystem, Unreal Engine is unrivaled at this moment, especially because, of course, Epic Games and Tencent behind them is really investing very strongly into this space. They're invested in Unreal Engine. They want to make it a success. They have massive programs like Epic Mega Grants where they're really pushing that ecosystem. So we believe that Unreal Engine is the 3D engine of the future. So we're building our platform to be forward compatible with Unreal Engine, starting at Unreal Engine 4, where we are now, but many of the experiences that are being built right now on the platform are already Unreal Engine 5, which of course is amazing considering they have nanite and lumen technology, which is massively expanding the possibilities of building 3-dimensional spaces. So let's see what else features Unreal Engine. Solana blockchain. We're building on Solana blockchain. I think that's a very important feature. We believe Solana blockchain is one of the, if not the most powerful blockchain in the world. I know that there are people out there that's saying, Solana isn't yet really decentralized, stuff like that. But I ask you, was Bitcoin really decentralized in 2012? No, it wasn't. It takes time. But we believe that Solana is one of the blockchains of the future. I think that also if you look at why we choose Solana, Ethereum, of course, is amazing. They're doing really cool stuff. They're going to proof of stake. But ultimately, I think the Ethereum will be like the Manhattan of blockchain space, right? Of block space. And so if we want to build a platform that's available to everybody, right? Anybody that can join in the future, anybody can build experiences, any community, or anybody can use it, then we need to be on a platform that has super low transaction fees, right? So that means that the Manhattan of blockchain space, Ethereum, is not the right choice if we want to have a really broad audience available, where everybody can join in. So that's one of the kind of thoughts that we have had behind selecting Solana to build on. Also, we have really good ties with the Solanium Launchpad here in the Netherlands. That makes a lot of sense for us as well. So there's a lot of considerations that come in there. So I think that's another feature, Solana blockchain underneath it. Third feature, we're building our platform on top of pixel streaming technology, on top of the Microsoft Azure tech stack right now. And for all of you that have paid attention, you might have noticed that recently Microsoft has been investing massively in the metaverse. They spent $70 billion on acquiring Activision Blizzard, which is the biggest acquisition in tech history. And they're all doing that to build a better technology stack for the metaverse. So for us to build your open metaverse platform on top of that Microsoft Azure stack makes a lot of sense. Now, I know we hate Teams in the office as well, and not everybody's a fan of Microsoft Office, but let's not judge Microsoft as a company and their potential for the metaverse and their tech stack there based on their Office suite, because that's, like comparing apples with pears, as we say in Dutch. So we really believe that there's a future there. They're making the right moves. And so we're making sure that we're positioned right to benefit from that. That means that we'll have pixel streaming technology based on that Azure stack. That means that going forward, whenever our platform goes live, it will be accessible to anybody on any platform. You can join on your mobile phone, you can join on your laptop, you can join on your desktop PC, you can join on your virtual reality headset in the future. And with every step up, you will have a higher level of immersion. But we foresee a future where people will be joining on their mobile phones for the next 5 to 10 years, but ultimately will strongly move towards wearable technology, where people will be wearing virtual reality glasses or augmented reality glasses that look just like sunglasses in the future, making it possible for them to integrate seamlessly, directly, really easily into the Metaverse platform through that pixel streaming technology. So that's 3 features. I hope that's enough. If you want more features, you tell me, Mish.
Yeah, that's all right, and I think it's enough. So, well, as you mentioned that you have already answered all these questions, well, we have selected most concerning questions, so that is why you are being asked the same question you have answered before.
No worries.
So, well, sorry for that if you are getting bored. Well, my next question is about, as you know, that community support is one of the most important aspect of any project success. So, how do you plan to attract more users and expand your community globally?
Yes, love that question. I saw that question on Twitter as well this Saturday. How are we going to build a community for a platform? How are we going to make sure that people are on it, using it? Because ultimately, of course, if nobody's on the platform, it won't be a success. If we go back to the 2000s, of course, the game Second Life was launched, and that initially seemed like a great success, but it quickly disappeared again. And so what is different now? Why would a metaverse project work now? Well, first of all, for us, it's important again to go into the next question on your list. We labeled ourselves as a layer 1 metaverse, and that's a very important thing to keep in mind here. What we mean by layer 1 is that we mean that our metaverse is like the first layer of reality when it comes to metaverses. So when you would enter it, there would not be nothing there. It's like the universe before the Big Bang. It's like the universe before the first day of creation, depending on whatever religion or belief you have. But our metaverse initially exists before time, and only when you start building on it is there something there, right? That means that our platform is dependent on artists, brands, creators, and communities to come together and build experiences on this platform in Unreal Engine using our SDK. That is also how we make sure that we attract users and build a community. Imagine it like let's say that 2,000 years ago, at the banks of the river Tiber in Italy, there was only a little village. First, there might not even have been anything, but then they started to build the first houses, right? And then the first houses became into a little village, and then the village grew into a city, and ultimately it grew into the massive city of Rome, the heart and center of the Roman Empire, covering most of the Western world. And you could do a same story probably for how something happened in the East or in America, but that is the kind of way you have to think of your open metaverse. It's like a civilization starting to happen. And so what we're doing is we're attracting these really big brands. We're talking to influencers, creators, communities right now that want to be first movers in this space. Communities, brands, artists that, they understand the value of the metaverse. They want to be innovative. They're willing to invest, whether it be money, time, resources, to start building the first meta experiences on the platform. And these are like the first houses in the village. And as these houses come into being, more people will come there to experience it. They will start building their own experiences, and it will grow organically over time. As time goes, it will be more valuable to be there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But of course, we're playing a very active role. So coming back to how do we plan to attract more users, we're using the 3.5 million that we brought in through our token private and strategic allocation. We're burning that for development, but also to bring brands to our platform. And then ultimately at the end of this year, we're going for Series A. And obviously then we'll have another massive influx of money, also validating us as a business towards big brands. And we're already working for that by, for example, attracting CVVC from Switzerland recently, and some other interesting parties. We have BlockRace supporting us as well. We have another big announcement to come in the next 2 weeks about another really important investor group. And they're all going to help us to build, that kind of ecosystem where we can attract, the best brands in the world, the best artists in the world, but also provide opportunities for more smaller communities, that want to have these incredible meta experiences. And then as these come on the platform, they bring with them their audience. So, for example, we're talking to a YouTube influencer right now with more than 15 million followers. If they decide, if they launch their meta experience on our platform, which, we're doing anything to make that happen, then they will bring with them 15 million fans that will come and check it out. And even if only 1% of them comes and stays on the platform, then that's still, is it 150,000 people or is that 1.5 million? I'm very bad at math. I'm not Asian. Emotional.
Right.
Sorry. Okay. So I hope that answers your question.
All right. So, well, my next question is that why you have labeled your coin as layer one metaverse?
Yeah, so layer one
What
metaverse.
is the
So
reason behind?
I think it's important if you want to build something that's successful, you need to also come up with the right kind of terminology around it. And of course, if you look at the crypto space, the term layer one is already something that people are familiar with in crypto sense. But in the metaverse space, there is this famous infographic from John Radoff about the 7 layers of the metaverse. But that only goes into the technological buildup, different levels of the technologies involved. And so to make it understandable for people, what is the difference between different metaverses? We invented this term layer one metaverse to explain the difference between our platform and something like Decentraland or Sandbox. Or, I really need to make a list of all the other metaverses out there. There's so many of them. But the big difference here is that if you go into these other metaverses that are out there, say, for example, Star Atlas. We love Star Atlas, right? We're really close with the people at Star Atlas. Even, one of our employees recently went from us to Star Atlas. He still works in our office, but, he's a tech lead there now. So we have a good relationship. But Star Atlas is a layer 2 metaverse, right? Because what they're building is a world that is predefined. It is science fiction. It's in the future. It's planets. It's starships. And people look like people. That's how their metaverse works. So it's almost like the real world, right? Because in our real world, people look like people. That's how it is. There's gravity. That's how it is. There's the speed of light. That's how it is. We are not orcs or trolls or fairies or elves. This is not World of Warcraft. We are in a normal world. But in a layer 1 metaverse, that's a layer 2 metaverse, right? That's a layer 2 metaverse. There's a predefined reality. And you can do anything as long as you stay within those predefined rules. Sandbox, for example, is very blocky. But in our metaverse, you can build anything you want. You, as a brand, you as a community, you as an artist, are in full control of the reality that you build there. The only limitations are the limitations of the Unreal Engine that you use to build it. If you want to create a world where everybody looks like a light, flying around, you can do that. If you want to make a world where there's no gravity, you can do that. If you want to make a world where you can hop from planet to planet instantly, and there's thousands of planets, technically, you can do that, right? And that's why we are a layer 1 metaverse. We just provide the foundation, the basic platform for people to build their meta experiences, their meta worlds on top of. So in a sense, you could say that we're like YouTube. We're content, distribution platform, right? Anybody can build a channel, and anybody can make cool content for the channel. In this case, a meta experience, immersive meta experience. But what you make is totally up to you.
Oh, that's great, and thanks a lot. Well, I must say that you have a really great approach. So here we have successfully completed our first segment, that of introductory. So now we'll have our next segment, that of from Twitter. So are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
I hope those questions are not similar to you. Well, my first question is that what are the attractive features in your project, and also share that what is the vision and goals in your project that you want to achieve in 2022 and beyond.
Okay, so what are attractive features in your project? Well, I think you already went into that a little bit, so I'll just make a short recap. Actually, I have some other features. So what is a really attractive feature of our project, for example, is our charge to X mechanic. That will allow people to mint NFTs on our platform, right? And then those NFTs, they can be upgraded. It's almost like, I don't know if you guys played World of Warcraft in the latest expansion, but you can have a legendary, and then you can take it somewhere if you bring the right, materials, and you can upgrade it, right? Now, basically, in a more simple manner, the same thing will be possible on our platform. You can bring your NFT, and then you can load it with tokens. So you can, which is also, by the way, right, the lock-in, burn-in mechanic of the tokenomics, which is really cool. And then you can get cooler features, of course, if those are available. I mean, right? If we're in the meta space for say 10 cent, I'm just gonna say 10 cent. They're building a meta experience, and in that meta experience, you can buy NFTs, or you can get NFTs, or you can earn NFTs. That's all possible. And they add features so that if you load that NFT, let's say that for what's it for? I can't come up with the name right now, but let's say that they have an NFT and you load it with tokens and you get access to special features. So it could be that you get a free present every year at your address, or that you get access to a special Discord room, VIP Discord somewhere, or that you get access to a special live event where you can go, or maybe, you get a birthday cake every year. I don't know. It can be anything that they can come up with. So that's a very cool feature. I think it has great potential. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let's see what else. I think I've talked about it a few times now, but I think one of the most attractive features of our project is that it is completely free in terms of creativity, right? It will be decentralized. It will be safe for people to go on. They will be in control of their data, their super profile, and there will be many ways for them to interact with their audience. But the coolest feature is that they can build any world that they can think of. And I think that's way cooler than 99% of the other metaverse projects out there. So what is the vision and the goals of our project? And what do we want to achieve in 2022? Well, like I said, our focus on 2022 is very simple. We want to go live with the TG. To achieve that, we need to have working live products and a working marketplace, right? And then ultimately, if we have the TG in the working marketplace and the first products live, we want to go for Series A to secure the long-term future of our project and to keep developing that. I mean, I hope that there will be more platforms like our own in the future, right? Because there should never be just one. because that ultimately would in some way, be centralization again. But I do hope that we will be one of the three biggest in the world in the future, and I think that's what we're working towards to create that. That's also why I basically don't have any time off during the week. I work all day because I believe in that, and I think that goes to most of our team. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
That's cool. So, well, my next question is that how did you strategize to make your token more valuable as time progresses? And will you use supply reducing tools such as burn and buyback?
Yeah, I'm a horrible guest, aren't I? Because all these questions I've already answered at some point. So yeah, so we're using we initially last year we still had a lock-in mechanic, but we've replaced that with a charge to X because we think that's much cooler. So we have a supply reducing mechanic going there, and we also have a buyback mechanic going there. So yeah, that's all in place. When a brand or an artist or community or whatever, if they want to build a meta experience on a platform, it's important to realize that they need to acquire an allocation of tokens, right? So they need to acquire an allocation of tokens because they also need to pay for the hosting fee of their meta experience. Now we are not planning, but of course we expect that there will be rights law in place. That means that as the metaverse becomes more popular, as the technology matures, the cost of the and the technology is adopted, so more people are active on the metaverse, more virtual reality headsets are sold, more people want to join in on their mobile phone, more brands start to build meta experiences. That means that if the demand is higher, then the cost for the technology below it, the hardware, and so also the hosting costs will go down exponentially over time. That would be a good thing, but still there will always be some, cost of hosting. And initially that cost will be higher, which means that right now in the next, 12 to 24 months, there will probably only be really big brands that have a big budget that will build their first experiences on the platform because they can afford it. It's almost like Formula One, right? You need to have some money and resources to have a team compete in the Grand Prix. But ultimately down the line, it will become available to everybody as those costs go down. But still, you will need to have a certain amount of tokens in your ecosystem available to pay for the hosting cost. And you can make tokens back from your community if you have some kind of monetization commercial models in place, like play to earn, where to earn, X to earn, or charge X, right, where your community creates a self-sustaining economy with the token, and therefore you get income again that allows you to pay for hosting the spaces. So I hope that answers those questions.
Well, yeah, my next question is about partnership. So, what companies are you partner with or seeking to partner with in future?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a load of partners on our website. Obviously, I would recommend anybody to go and have a look at those. But I think first and foremost, right now, our most impactful partners, I think, recently we announced our partnership with LTO Networks, which is another really big Dutch crypto project. So we're hoping to build a multi-chain future with them. But that's, of course, right now, that's still future music, as we say in Dutch. But that's definitely something that we're aiming for. We're partnered with Manus. They're helping us with the motion capture technology for the hands. Right now, we're partnered with Xsense Movella. We're using their motion capture suite for the high level quality motion capture for artists and avatars, special avatars of entertainers, hosts, etc. on the platform. We're, of course, in the Microsoft startup program. Like I said, we're partnered with Microsoft because we believe that their technology stack, Azure stack, will be super useful for us towards the future. We're partnered with Solanium Launchpad for our launch, obviously. We're partnered with Replica, which is probably one of the world's leading avatar creation studios in the world using MetaHuman technology. They're not really well known, unfortunately. I have to say that their marketing could probably be a little bit better, but they're really, really, really amazing. And they're working on my avatar right now, which is going to be released pretty soon, and it's really, really, really looking awesome. So that's just a quick grab of partners there. We recently partnered up with CVVC, of course. They're also an investor that really positions us well for a Series A. They're from Switzerland. Anybody that's into crypto investing will probably know CVVC. We are, let's see, what else is there? We have Blockraise, we have Brotherhood or as investors. Those are really useful. They're really supportive as well. They're really helping us drive our marketing game. We were on Launchpool, where we, of course, launched our Launchpool in October last year, and we oversubscribed by 52 times, which was at that point 18 million staked on top of our allocation of 350,000 US dollars value at TGE. So that was a record. I don't think that record has been broken yet, so that's pretty cool. I think that's a lot of partners there, and we're working on more partners, of course. We've been working. We've been in touch with Epic Games and Unreal, and we're really looking to push that partnership to the next level as well. So hopefully we'll be able to announce something on that in the next few months. That would be really nice because we really believe that the future is there. So if you know anybody at Epic Games, tell them to respond to our emails faster. Anyway, so that's it. Thanks.
All right, thank you. So my next question is that what if the bear market comes? Will your token probably dump? Or do you have any plan to prepare for this bear market? And how will you handle the panic sell?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Honestly, I don't think the bear market really. I mean, obviously, it will have an impact. It always has. I mean, that's how the world works. You can't avoid there being any impact. But we're not worried about bear market at all because we believe we're working for the long-term project, future of the project. I've said this already 100 times in this AMA, but we are going towards a Series A. We already have revenue in the company right now to drive, to help us, pay our bills, do all of our things. So we believe that we have nothing to worry about in the long term. The metaverse is going to happen. People believe in this. Platforms like our own need to be made. There's a massive demand in the long term, in the short term. We are really set up to make it work. We will have, real money, real investors as we go, and we have our tokens and our and that platform, and it's going to be working. There's good mechanics in place to drive the scarcity of the coin, to reduce the circulation over time, and to make the token valuable. It's necessary for every brand that wants to build on our platform, every creator, every artist, every community that wants to build a meta experience needs to get tokens. So that means that with everybody that comes onto the platform, there's a buying pressure again. So I would be really, really, really surprised if any crazy things happen with our token. I just don't see it happening. But of course, I believe. I'm a believer. Are you a believer?
Yeah, of course I am. So, and I think you'll have to be. So,
We're doing
may
everything.
I?
What more can we do?
Sorry?
We're making sure that we're doing everything we can. So.
Yeah. So, my next question of the segment that is the last question of this segment, that are you afraid that someday there will be another project with more innovative technologies that can replace your project?
No, we're not worried about that. In fact, I really look forward to that. I hope that there will be other projects like ours, many of them. I think that will be good because there's a massive. I mean, we have almost 8 billion people on this planet. So for all of them to move to the metaverse in the future, is going to take a massive effort, but that also means there's a massive market. And I don't think it's good if there's a what do you call this, a monoculture. And I think every metaverse platform on itself will be a place for new future communities, new future cultures to rise, right? We're moving into a new world where people are not judging each other by their ethnic background or by the country they're from, because we will all be living in a metaverse together and we will all be metaverse citizens. And so there will be new environments that will come into being. There will be your open metaverse, and there might even still be, you know, something like Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse. And all of these can coexist, I think, and they should coexist. So I hope that there will be other projects out there that will try to build the same as we're doing. I hope that they will push us to be more innovative. I hope that they will push us to be even better. I hope that just like with Tesla, with Elon Musk, I hope that other people out there try to copy what we're doing and then push us to be the best of the best. So we're not worried about that, and we're not afraid. Bring it on.
That's a very good approach. So, well, here our two segments have completed successfully. So now it's turn to the final segment. But before proceeding ahead, I must say that guys must join the official Telegram group of Yum. Otherwise, you will be disqualified from the winners list. So, should we start our next segment?
Yep, I'm ready. Vin Diesel is
As
still listening.
so, guys, kindly raise your hands. Actually, this is the question and answer session. So, kindly, guys, raise your hand. So, we'll choose you and unmute you. I think there are a lot of people who wanted to ask questions. So, it is quite hard to choose anyone. So, would you like to select, or may I?
No, go ahead. You pick.
Okay. So, I think King Solomon. Yes, you can ask your question, please.
Can you hear me? How are you doing?
Hi, King.
I enjoyed this session. So my question is, this is to explain so far. I would like you to look into the crypto space, and from your project, I would like you to differentiate between your vision, your project, and the mission, because these two things, other project people tend to mistake them for each other, and by that, their project tends to fall and fail at a very long run. So I would like you to please explain that regarding your project.
Of course, I understand. So our mission is to build a platform that allows brands, artists, and creators to build meta experiences that allow them to interact in new, novel ways with the audience and reduce the distance between them and their audience. And our vision is to build a metaverse platform that will ultimately raise well, no, that's not the right word, that will allow people around the world to partake and come closer together as a whole. Does that make sense? So we believe in the metaverse as a technology that can really help humanity solve a lot of the biggest problems in the world. So our long-term vision is that we build a platform that enables humanity as a whole to, you know, upgrade ourselves past discrimination, past, inequality, past environment, the destruction of the environment. We think that the metaverse has huge potential to solve, for example, our carbon footprint issues, because if you virtualize everything, you don't need to build a television anymore because you have it virtualized in your glasses. That reduces our carbon footprint on a massive level. Right, so that's our vision. But the mission in the short term is to build a platform that allows artists, brands, creators, communities, businesses to build immersive experiences, do immersive storytelling, and interact with their audiences in new and novel ways. I hope that answers your question.
That's thank you.
All right. So, who will be our next?
Hello, sir.
Name.
Hello, Hassan.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, Hassan. Yes, go on.
Do you allow suggestion and feedback from the community? Are we allowed?
Yes, in fact, we encourage it. I can't promise that every point of feedback we can always act on it immediately, but we think that feedback and input from the community is absolutely essential. So yes, we welcome it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Hassan.
Okay, guys. So who is going to ask next question? Kindly raise your hands. Though there are no medias, but yes, I think Captain Black. You can ask your question.
All right, thank you. Hello, hello guys, how are you? Hello, Mr. Aragorn. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right.
Thank you,
Hope you're
Captain
fine.
Black. You pronounce
Yeah,
that
so,
perfectly. Thank you.
all right, thank you. So, my question is on your where to earn. So I don't understand. Okay, it comes from tokenized variables first. It says we can create unique variables to sell, which can be won across all meta spaces. So
Yes.
I don't know. Can you tell me more about this? If I create a variable, will I be the one to determine how much people are going to pay, or will it be your system that will determine how much people are going to pay to wear the variables?
That's good. Yeah, what a great question. Thank you so much for that. No, you will be able to decide. So you will be in control yourself. Ultimately, there will be a small commission fee for the maintaining the platform, right? Because in the future, we will transition into a DAO, and of course, the whole system needs to keep running, right? So to be able to pay for any expenses, etc., on every transaction of an asset generated or an NFT minted, there will be a commission fee, but that will be very transparent so that you know exactly what's going on. We want to keep the fees as low as possible for anybody participating on a platform, building on a platform, because we want it to be accessible to everybody. But you will be the one to decide the price of an asset if you put it on a marketplace. Important thing here to note is that any asset on our platform will always be a virtual asset. Everything will have a virtual three-dimensional representation, right? So, yeah, we're not like, it's not necessarily like, going to be like OpenSea or something like that, where, you know, anything can be minted on our platform. Everything on our platform, at least at the outset, will have a virtual asset connected.
That's amazing. I must say it is the
Hello,
first
sir.
time I'm hearing of this. Thank you so much for bringing out YOM. Is it your open metaverse? Yeah, thank you so
Yes,
much.
your open Metaverse. Why? It's my pleasure.
Okay, so yes, Bilal, you can ask your question.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Balal. How are you doing?
I want to support your project. Tell us more about the investor program and in what ways can we participate? Tell me, sir.
Ooh, that was some serious echo, Bilal. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Well, unfortunately, currently we are completely oversubscribed in terms of investors. I know that's painful to hear from people. I'd love for there to be a way for more people to be involved, but that's just the way it is. We've been oversubscribed since October. The interest in our project is massive. The good part there, though, is that also allows us, like I said before, to make very well informed, logical decisions on what investors we want to have in our portfolio. So for every investor that we have in the portfolio, we have a very clear, argumentation, or what do you call it? Idea of why we have them. And every investor plays a very important role in setting us up in the right way, providing the right level of expertise, experience, network, connections, value, resources that allow us to move into our Series A and ultimately be successful in the long run. I hope that answers your question.
All right. So who is going to ask next question? Yes, Angel is speaking. So yes, Angel, what's your question?
Hello, hello. My
Hello.
question is: Do the token holders have the right to participate in the governance of the project? What kind of decision can they vote on about the project?
Okay. Hey, Angel. So thank you for that question. And it's a very good question, of course. Governance is very important to us as well. So like I said, we are working right now on in our white paper. There will be a lot about that as well. So I highly recommend you read that as it comes out. But what we aim to do in the long-term future is to move the whole platform to a DAO structure, right? So that means that we will be releasing a governance token in the future, and the governance tokens will be distributed, allocated based on token hold, total tokens held. I can't say at this point in time exactly what governance token holders can and cannot vote on. I simply don't know yet. It's not all specifically specified yet, but I think that a lot of the questions that you might have regarding that will be answered in a white paper, which will be released somewhere in the next 7 days, I think. So keep an eye out on the website, follow our announcement channel on Telegram, and then you will be informed as soon as it's available. And hopefully your questions will be answered better than I can do that right now.
Well, thank you so very much, Mr. Aragorn, for answering all the questions. So here we have successfully completed our today's MS session.
We lost the connection there for a second, Mish.
Yes, sorry for the distraction. So once again, thanks a lot for giving us your precious time. It was a remarkable session, and definitely our community had learned a lot from it. So I would like to wish you and your project a very, very good luck. And at the last, but definitely not the least, I would like to congratulations to all today's winners. And we will definitely announce their names soon. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me, Mish. It's been an absolute pleasure. I also want to say thank you to Albert, Buddy. Thank you for inviting me. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. In terms of the people listening out there, the community, if you're interested in your open metaverse token, please make sure to follow our Telegram channel. Go and check out our announcement channel. So if you're watching the video, you can see the links right below me. The website is yom.community down there. Telegram is down there. It's t.me/yom_community. And you can find the announcement channel there. And obviously, you can find us on Twitter as well at Metaverse. So make sure to follow there. We also have a YouTube channel, and we will start putting out a lot of TikTok content as well. Over the next few weeks, a lot of videos. There will be videos released that will be about the team, who's on the team, interviews with team members, the core team, the developer team, the marketing team. There will also be some videos about what are we trying to build, what is our vision for the future. So make sure to check up on that. And we also put out a lot of funny content just to show you behind the scenes what we're doing, the kind of crazy stuff that goes on in our office, to make sure that you know that we are real human beings with a real mission and a real vision to make the metaverse happen for you and with you. Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so very
much. Thank you for your precious time.
Yeah, and yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
I got a bad feeling about it.
I got a really good feeling about this.
I wanted to rickroll everybody, but it was the wrong button.
If you want to...
My rickroll's gone. Damn it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.